guys, welcome back to my channel.
Antoine!
I know! Stop. Okay, ready? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to film my labor and delivery story. I've been wanting to do it for a minute now. And I do have a special guest, my sister. I'll go ahead and link her Insta here so you guys can follow her and make sure you check out her YouTube channel. She don't be posting that much because she be lacking. But make sure you follow her because she's going to be posting some more content pretty soon, right? Right. So today we are going to tell the story. I do have her with me because with the story and experience, I mean, obviously she was there and I don't really remember it like that much, so she's going to be here to help me out. We are going to be, what is it called? Mukbanging this video with some Buffalo Wild Wings. We got the lemon pepper, some fries, and hot barbecue. So yeah, let's get to it.
It's already hot.
Okay,
let's go back. So
I feel like we should start with my due date. Okay, so my due date was April 12th, and I didn't deliver Gianni until April 14th. So it was a day late. And at this point, my mom has been wanting to like get him out already. So what we did was we did some research on how to induce labor at home, and we drank this like midwife's brew drink. And basically what it was, I don't really remember exactly what it was, but you guys can Google it. It's called midwife's brew drink, and it's castor oil, apricot juice. What else was in it? Oh, almond butter, and oh, my mom's calling me. One sec. All right, sorry about that. So,
yeah, and
back to what I was saying.
What was the nectarine juice?
It was apricot juice.
Oh, apricot. We were
nectarine.
going crazy to different.
Yeah, we went to like every store and literally nobody had it. But we finally found it at Fumax, right? It was Fumax?
Yeah.
In Brentwood. So, anyways, we made that, and I guess supposedly my mom says it's supposed to like make you start contracting. And it did, because I drank it at 5 o'clock the day after my due date. And like within 2 hours at 7, I like started already like having like mild cramps, and I was just like walking outside and everything.
Yeah, also too, she used to ride bikes and walk like a mile around our neighborhood.
Yeah.
She used to bounce on a ball.
Nothing
I have
would work.
all this like footage, so Vanessa, you might want to put it in. So.
Yeah, I might insert some footage. I think I still have like the ones from when I was in the hospital too.
Like having trouble, if you guys are watching this, having trouble like getting into labor or.
And I think I'm not telling you guys to try this drink because you do and should ask your doctor. I personally and honestly didn't ask my doctor, so I just did it. And my mom showed me a lot of videos of like girls on YouTube doing it, and like they were of course like vlogging everything, and they went right into labor within hours. So it worked for me, it worked for others. I would try it, but definitely ask your doctor. So that night I started having like really bad cramping, and I was just basically like going into labor, but I just went to sleep and I like didn't pay no mind. And then it was 3 in the morning and my mom woke me up. I mean it was 3 in the morning and my contractions woke me up because they were so strong. And I went to the bathroom because every pregnant woman knows you go pee like literally 5 times in the middle of the night, especially when you're close to your due date. And I went to go wipe, and TMI for those who are watching and thinks it's gross, but I mean, it's labor.
It's life.
It's life. So basically I wiped and I saw my mucus plug, and I took a picture to my mom and asked her if like that's what it was supposed to look like, and she said yes. So Mario did at the time work at 5 in the morning, and at this time it was 3, so I didn't like want to wake him up, especially if it was false labor.
Right.
But at this point, like, my contractions were every 2 minutes on the dot. And usually, like, contractions happen, like, starting off at 5 to 7. And I didn't know what to do. So, like, I got an app on my phone that counts, like, your contractions and stuff. And I called the charge nurse, and they said I should, like, go in because they were every 2 minutes. So, we went in. Did Mom even, like, tell you, like, the morning of? Like, hella early?
Yeah. She came in my room, right? She's like, oh, my God, Vanessa. Wait, did your water break?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her water broke.
Literally after like I lost my mucus plug and I wiped, 15 minutes later my water broke because I was sitting on the bed. after I lost my mucus plug, I went back to the room and I saw on the bed, and that's when I was texting my mom the pictures and everything. And I was sitting there in like some like turquoise Spankies, so they were like pretty tight. And then all of a sudden I got like a rush, like I felt like I like peed on myself. And I was like, okay, obviously that's my water. So then I texted my mom and I was like, OMG, my water just broke, like it's official and all this stuff.
Yeah, so she comes in my room, Vanessa, water broke. I'm like, it's a Friday, so I have school. I'm like, what?
And it was Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I was like, you're lying. She's like, no, I'm gonna go see if she's going to the hospital, this and that. She said, I think my sister sent her a picture of it, so it was actually real. Like, I thought she was pranking me for a minute, but I was like, no. So we go in the car, and Vanessa's like, oh, I want breakfast. Remember that? You're like, oh yeah, I want breakfast. So we went to Sylvia's and got her and Mario breakfast.
Because everyone says that like once you get in the hospital, they don't really like let you eat.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make sure I was eating because I didn't know how long my labor was going to take. I was trying to have a full belly before I even got my epidural.
Right.
So yeah, they picked up Sylvia's for me and they took it to the hospital.
Oh yeah.
We were like on our way to the hospital at like 7 in the morning. Yeah, like 7 or 8. But we got there. The nurse like checked me to make sure my fluid was the water. And it was. And I guess since it was my water, they had to keep me there. So they got me a room. Because I guess they say like when your water breaks and you go home, it's a high risk of infection. And then also too, like she couldn't see how far it was dilated. Like that was my number one thing, was like, I want to know how far I'm dilated. And she's like, unfortunately we can't do that because it could cause an infection from going in there since your water broke. So we'll only like check you like rarely, like basically when you're ready for the epidural. So this whole time I was laboring, I didn't know how like far dilated I was. She checked like every, I think it was like 2 to 3 hours, but it wasn't like much. And yeah, so I was just laboring. And then what happened after that? I think it was like, okay, oh wait, mind you, it was a Friday night, so like I had a lot of visitors like wanting to come after work and everything. And I felt like everyone showed up at once. It was like around 5 or 6. No, it was around like 6 or 7.
Yeah. That Friday, right?
Yeah. And I was like in bed, and at this point like I was already laboring for a couple hours, and all of a sudden my contractions were so bad that like, and I have a pretty high pain tolerance, I feel like, but my contractions were so bad that they started like bringing like tears already to my eyes. And like there were so many people in the room, I was getting overwhelmed. I was just like, okay, everybody needs to leave now.
Yeah,
like,
she was getting cranky, like.
Yeah, I was getting really cranky, and I was like, everyone needs to leave, and I want the epidural, like this really hurts now. So they came in, they gave me the epidural, and of course only one person could stay with you, which was Mario. So he did stay with me. Honestly, I didn't feel it. The pain that contractions give you, like one needle is not gonna hurt for 10 seconds, or if even that.
Right.
So after that, honestly, I felt amazing. Like I literally was like completely numb. Like you can't even feel anything anymore.
I know.
So like of course it was around 8 o'clock. So like it was been a long day already. So we just like went to bed. And yeah,
Mario
we were
slept.
like,
Oh my god.
we have some footage. Wait, do we have footage of that? Yeah, you recorded. My sister was recording. Like we'll show everybody like how we slept, because like he had like 2 chairs, huh?
Yeah, Mario put like 2 chairs together and literally slept right next to my sister.
And you were like on the couch, huh?
On
You were
the
like
couch.
I would have broke her nap.
I know. Me and my mom were on this couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like just seeing like the pain my sister went through, like it's crazy. Like she was in so much pain. Like just seeing her in pain like makes me like.
And honestly, if I was to have another baby, I would definitely like go in and ask for the epidural right away. But I'm also glad I did ask for the epidural and didn't try to go natural because of what happened after my labor. But you guys will get there.
There's one nurse that was really nice, and I feel like the other nurses were just like stuck up.
I felt like the night nurses were like hella cranky.
Yeah, like they was tired or something.
Yeah, probably, honestly. So after we all went to bed, it was like 6 in the morning. The nurses came in and they were like, okay, like it's time to check you. And at this point I was at a 9. So they were like, okay, you can start waking everybody up now because like you're close to like pushing, you're only 1 centimeter away. So we woke everyone up. It was like 6 in the morning. And then like at 7 I was at a 10. But when she checked me, she was like, okay, you're at a 10, but your cervix is in the way, so you have to wait till it moves out of the way, because if you push, you could damage it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And like, mind you, I had the urge to push Gianni out of me like for, it was like a good 30-40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at that point, like, I couldn't even take it anymore. I was like, I'm pushing. Like, I looked at my mom and I was like, where's the nurse? I'm pushing. I have to push. Like, I know he has to come out. So then here comes the nurse. She comes in and she's like checking me. She's like, okay, yeah, we're ready. So we started pushing at 8 o'clock. It only took me like, well, 38 minutes exact to push him out, because he was born at 8:38. So I pushed him out, and this is where it gets crazy.
Crazy.
I don't even remember, honestly.
No, once Gianni was born, my like focus was on him. Like, oh my God, Gianni's here. I started crying. We all started crying.
And who was in the room was my mom, my sister, Mario's mom, Mario, and my mom. So those are the only people that were in the room. His sister was supposed to be in the room, but she had to work Saturday mornings. She didn't call off, so unfortunately she wasn't able to be there. But, and mind you, my sister recorded like this whole thing. Everything that happened. So like looking at the footage is kind of weird, but
yeah. So when Gianni was born,
these are hot.
It's spicy.
No more?
You gotta do a ranch.
No more? Get some.
Just one.
Because we're not going to finish all these. Those are hot. We got lemon and hot barbecue.
Look at my lips.
They swollen. No,
Be cherry. Yeah, once Gianni was born, it was all about like, oh my God, like happiness at that point. And I was still recording.
So like when they put him on my chest, like most moms are pretty like responsive and like hold their baby and like love him and look at him like. When they put Gianni on my chest, I was literally
like
dead. Like I felt like, I thought at the moment that I was just like tired and overwhelmed from like the whole labor, and that everything was over. I was just like exhausted. Right. But I remember my mom standing there and she was like, "Grab him, Mija, like grab him and stuff." And like, yeah, and like I just like kind of grabbed him, but I felt hecka weird. And then that's when like they took him off of me and like went to go weigh.
Yeah.
But Mario, of course, followed the baby, and my mom stayed with me. And Mario's mom was like, wasn't she by the window? Like, yeah, she was by the window area, because she said that she was trying to give me like my own privacy, and she wasn't trying to be like all up in me, like seeing everything. So she was over by the window, and my sister was like by the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
It was like beep, beep, like these beeps started going on. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking at the nurse, and she's literally shoving her fist up my sister's. Like up.
Well, first before that though, she was like, "Okay, we're gonna like deliver your placenta, so just push like if you were pushing Gianni out." And I was like, "Okay." So I pushed, and then that's when that happened.
Her whole fist was in there. I was like,
and like mind you, at the time, at the time I delivered him, there was only 2 nurses in the room, and then all of a sudden there was like 6-7 people in there.
Start rushing,
like staff members.
Hold up,
but like the thing was like they weren't even rushing. They came in so quiet and normal. Like I honestly had no idea that something was even wrong with me, because I just thought it was like, I mean, I never had a baby. It was my first child. Like I just thought they came in to like help clean and finish things. So like they came in with no expression. Like no alarm went off. Like on the hospital, like usually when something happened, like they like call code and something. Like none of that happened. And then, like, I just remember feeling hecka weak, and the machine was, like, going off, and, like, hospital lights are, like, I'm pretty sure you guys know, they're, like, rectangles, and at this point, like, I was looking up, and, like, they were, like, going like this, like, and, like,
fading.
Yeah, like, and then my hearing started, like, going away.
And she was, like, purple.
Yeah, I was
her
purple.
lips. Your lips were purple. Like, you were turning purple. Mom was freaking out, because I was like, what's going on? She was like, I don't know. And I was like, I think she was losing a lot of blood, but I don't want to tell her or scare her, so don't say anything. And I was like,
yeah, no one told me anything.
I was like, and my mom was like so scared, like she didn't know what.
But the thing was, like, mom was like, okay, my mom's hella sensitive as it is, so like she was already crying when the baby came, so I didn't think anything happened because she was already crying. And then like all this was happening, and I don't really remember what else happened.
Okay, this is what I remember.
Oh, I remember the nurse came up to me. She was like, Vanessa, we have to give you some blood, but
Yes, that shit was hella scary. My daughter was like white like a ghost.
No, she was purple.
No, she was white. Her lips were purple.
Yeah,
blue.
your lips are purple.
Yeah.
Come on, you wanna come join us?
What you guys eating?
You want some wings? It's getting hot in here. Can you fix the fan? This is my mom, you guys. Say hi.
So how was your experience during Vanessa's labor?
That was scary. Seriously, that was scary. That you would see that like on 911 show or something.
Yeah,
It was
pretty
totally
scary.
unexpected.
You scared me,
Unexpected.
Mom?
Sorry.
You want some wings?
No, thank you.
Okay, so
Okay, finish this.
when I was looking around,
Bye.
Princess, it's not that
You
way.
gotta open up the window. And then put the fan in the window. Tú no sabes.
She
tú.
scared me.
I know.
She came in hella fast.
And how should know what we was talking about?
She's very eardrumming at the,
She was, because I
at
heard,
the door.
I heard footsteps and then it
Oh my
stopped.
god, you guys, it's getting really hot in
I
here.
heard footsteps and then the footsteps stopped and then she opened it, so she was
That's
probably
hella
listening.
funny.
Right, and Vanessa's glove bag was dang near halfway. Like,
Okay, you guys, I lost 2.5 liters of blood, and mind you, I just learned this in school. A human body has about 5 to 6 liters of blood, so that's like damn near half. But yeah, as you just heard, my sister and my mom, I was hella white. And anyways, let's reverse before all that happened. So the nurse came up to me. She was like, Vanessa, you're losing like a quite amount of blood. Like, we think it's best if we give you some blood. And she just like said it really calmly, and I was just like, and she's like, I just need your like okay. And I was like, okay. She's like, no, we need a yes. And I was like, yes. So then they went to go get my blood. And at this point, like, that's when like my blood pressure started dropping, and that's when the machines were like going off, huh?
yeah,
They're,
I
like
think that's
hella
when it
beeping.
was. And I left. I was like, I can't do this.
Oh yeah,
I left.
she stopped recording and she went out into the the waiting room.
with my dad, and I was like, he was like, what's wrong? I was like, Vanessa's losing a lot of blood. He was like, what?
Cause mind you, when Gianni came, like, I have family waiting in the waiting area, so my mom texted my dad a picture when the baby was here, when he was laying on my chest. So like, my family knew the baby was okay. So like, when my sister went out crying, like, my dad was already just confused because he did get the picture of the baby, and he was just like, okay, what's going on?
The baby's okay, but is Vanessa okay?
Yeah. Do you want some more wings?
I'm good right now. Thanks.
Okay.
So when I told him that, he was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I was like, yeah, she lost a lot of blood. And all the nurses went in there, and I was just like, I couldn't even talk. I was so nervous. Like, I had to leave because that's when everyone started came. All the nurses and stuff came.
Yeah, and then so after that, the nurse came in and gave me my blood, and at this point, I was laying on the bed like a freaking spider, like this, because first one nurse came over and stabbed me in my leg for my blood pressure to give me like a medicine to like raise it back up. The other nurse, I don't even know if she was like new, but I kind of like remember her like having a hard time getting my IV in to give me the blood transfusion. And then what made me question that something was wrong was I looked across the room and I seen like this African American guy, and he was leaning against the wall, and he was the anesthesiologist. Remember the guy? He was like kind of like bulk, and you probably left the room by then.
I was in the lobby for a long time.
Yeah. So like this guy came in, he was the anesthesiologist, and I guess he was there just in case like if I needed more numbing medicine. Oh, and then like before I was getting ready to deliver Gianni, I asked the nurse if I should get more of the epidural, because like I started kind of like feeling my legs again, and I was scared that if I didn't, I would like have too much pain trying to push him out. So she recommended that I got another like dose of the epidural. So I got 2, which I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, I would have went through all that pain trying to push him out, and then they would have to give it to me anyways because of the whole like scraping inside that they had to do. So yeah, so they gave me my blood, guys, and they raised up my blood pressure. Everything was fine at this point, and like that's when my mom told Mario like to go with me, because at this point he had no idea that like I was basically dying because he was with the baby. And then he came over and I was like, he was like, how are you feeling, mama? And I was just like, I just feel so tired. Like I was like talking hecka weird, I felt like, and like I was just like asking him if everything was okay, and he like totally ignored my question, which I understand why now. But he was just like, he didn't even answer my question. He was just like, baby weighs 8 pounds 8 ounces. And then I was just like, oh, okay. And then he was just like, hang in there, you're almost done, and stuff like that. So then the nurse that delivered him was like, okay, Vanessa. She had this huge spatula, like it was so freaking big. And she was like, I'm gonna go in and do some scraping, let me know if you feel any pressure. God. So she was literally like in me, like scraping all the blood out. And like in the video you could see like the bag of blood like hanging off the bed. And she was just like scraping and like pushing on my stomach at the same time. And then that happened, and she had to insert basically like a big balloon inside my like uterus to apply like pressure to stop me from bleeding. And then she had like this like long gauze inside of me like to soak all the blood out. And so I still had to stay on bed rest for the whole next day. I had a catheter of like I had a catheter in me, so I had a bucket of urine, and then I had like a bucket of blood from like my insides. So like even just to go to the bathroom, I had to literally like take my buckets and like walk to the bathroom. It was horrible. And that night Gianni did not sleep because I lost a lot of milk supply and I was dehydrated. So yeah. So after you guys, after all that, I got back to normal. How long what did that even take? Like an hour, huh? I felt like it took an hour.
I felt like it was 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was scary.
So basically what my sister had, is it from having contractions a lot and then
oh yeah, so basically the nurse said that they don't really know why it happened. Like it's like kind of rare, I guess. I mean, it happens to some females but not all. And basically she said my uterus was too tired because when I got into labor I started every 2 minutes on the dot. And the whole time I was laboring it was every 2 minutes. Not, it was like, it only went to like 5 minutes in the middle of it for like a good 30 minutes. But other than that it was every 2 freaking minutes. Can you imagine like that feeling? Every 2 minutes in like 12 hours. That was a lot. So, but I've had that.
It was overworked.
Oh yeah, they said my uterus was overworked and like it just happened, and
that's why she bled so much.
Yeah, but 2.5 liters of blood is a lot, and that's kind of what happened after that. I mean, after I got my blood transfusion, I started to feel like normal again, but even then I couldn't hold Gianni like up because I was like so weak. So like to hold him, they had to like put a pillow under me, and then like even then like my color obviously didn't come back all the way. And then they changed me into the postpartum room, and we just kind of like went through the rest of the day. My brother went and got me some Jamba Juice that had a lot of iron in it.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you. And that made me feel better. But yeah, so we just stayed at the hospital. And then even the next day they took out my like balloon and tissue, and like when she was pulling it out it was like I felt like she was pulling forever. Like you could literally hold the gauze up to the ceiling and it was just like a big piece of like cotton full of blood. And then like even after that, like I had to stay in there for like 3 days because the next day I started losing blood again. And my mom like came to visit me and she was like, Mija, you're looking a little pale and like your lips don't look right. So then she told the nurse, and the nurse came and like looked at me and she was like, okay, well let's check your iron level. And so they had the phlebotomist come in and check me out. And he was like, she said that my iron was low again, so they had to like give me another blood transfusion. And then I just started like breaking down crying again because I was just like, I've been through so much already. Yeah, I was like so over everything, and I was just like, I don't want blood anymore, like da-da-da. And she was like, well, it's best for you. And like so I did ended up getting that. But yeah, so like 3 days later we went home. They told me to be careful with like lifting things heavy because I could hemorrhage again, and just to keep an eye out. So I went home and we enjoyed Gianni, but so it's not over yet. So when Gianni was 6 weeks, I was home alone. I had him on the swing. At this point I was already like done bleeding. I was just spotting a little bit. And the day before that I remember having some really bad like abdominal cramps that they almost felt like contractions. And I told Mario, I was like, babe, like I don't feel good, like I feels like I'm having contractions, like my stomach really hurts. And he was like, you know what, babe, like maybe it's just like your body like going back to how it was and you're feeling this pain. So I was like, okay. So I kind of just like brushed it off. And then the next day, I think you were at school. Yeah, you had been at school. I was home alone and my mom was at work. And I was sitting on the couch and I had like a panty liner on because I was still like spotting, but like not enough blood to hold a pad, to like wear a pad. So then I was sitting on the couch and I felt like this big rush of like basically blood. And I went to the bathroom and like I was sitting on the toilet and then like just blood just kept dripping. And it wasn't like drip, wait a little bit, drip. Like it was like drip, like heck of bad. And so I was just like looking in the toilet and the toilet was like full of blood. It was pretty nasty.
Did you show mom, like take a picture of it, or were you just like too scared?
No, I texted a picture to my mom. Well, I called her and told her that I was like losing like a really good amount of blood, and she was like, okay, put the baby down, like I'll be on my way, like if you need to, like call 911. And I was like, okay. But like I wasn't feeling like weak or anything. I was just like losing a lot of blood. So then she came and I stopped bleeding after like 10 minutes, which was really weird. Called the advice nurse and she told me if I wasn't bleeding anymore, just to stay home and make an appointment to follow up with my doctor. So I did, and then I went in. She did an ultrasound like a couple days later. She did an ultrasound. She could see something in the ultrasound that looked like a blood clot. So she was like, you know what, you have a blood clot. Let's give you, I forgot what it's called. It's basically the pill. We're back on, you guys. Sorry, my camera died, so we had to give it about 10 minutes to charge and to let battery rest. But anyways, back to where we were. Oh, the pill. So basically the doctor said, okay, we should give you the pill. Pregnant women take it to like that, what is it called?
Blood clots.
No, like when they don't want the baby, they give them a pill and you.
Oh, abortion.
Yeah, abortion. So they gave me the pill and I went home. I took it. 2 days later, I passed a huge blood clot. I have a picture, but I probably won't insert it because it's pretty gross. It was like this big. Did I ever show you it?
No.
It's gross. I have it. I'll show you. But it's like this big, and so I followed up with my doctor. She wanted me to come back in to just do another ultrasound to make sure that it is what I passed or whatever, just to make sure that there wasn't any more blood clots in me. So I went, and then they told me, they did an ultrasound, and they told me that they still saw something, and the doctor's face was like pretty like amazed, but she was like, well, I still see something, you know, I think it's best if we have you do like an emergency DNC, and I'm going to have you do it at the hospital. I usually do it here in the clinic. It's an easy procedure, but since you did hemorrhage at birth, if you hemorrhage here, we don't have a local hospital to take you, because the clinic I went to for my GYN is a different Kaiser. That's not a hospital. It's just a clinic. So she sent me over to the hospital. I went to the emergency room and they put me into put me down, so I was like asleep, and they went in and did a DNC, and basically they said that there was still a piece of placenta in me, so they had to basically vacuum it out. And then I went home and I went on about my life. Basically, that's it.
All of that.
Yeah, all of that. I'm so sorry, you guys, that this video is long, but I finally recorded it after so long. I've been wanting to do this video since like Gianni was like 3 months old, like, and he's like 1.5 now. A year and a half later, healthy, and
You're the cutest thing ever.
Yeah.
I love him so much. Oh my god, what the heck?
Anyways, guys, if you have any questions, you can comment down below. I'll reply to them.
Through this,
yeah, I hope honestly no one experienced this, because
it's horrible.
It was scary.
Like, I'm scared to have kids now.
Like
I'm scared.
if I was to get pregnant, yeah, if I was to get pregnant again, I would literally like go in thinking that I might lose my life, because it's a, oh yeah, and they said if I was to have another baby, I'd be at high risk, but this time they know they'll have like the team ready to come in and the blood ready, because I guess they couldn't even, they didn't have my blood type, so they had to give me the blood type that works for both blood types. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell button. Follow my sister on Instagram and her YouTube channel. She's gonna be posting more.
I'm gonna be posting more.
Yeah. Posting more. No, just kidding. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Bye.